Hello everybody, Keith here again. Today I'm going to do something very different indeed, something I've only done once before, and that's try and deflask some seedlings. These are Cattleya tenebrosa, and as you should be able to read from that, I got these from the Growing Orchids project. I bought these at the Bournemouth Society 60th anniversary show, and it was something I wasn't quite sure about. For £3, so really very little money, you could get a flask of very small seedlings. They looked more like moss than orchids, and using one of their portable cabinets you could transfer them into a pot of your own, and then having done that you got a pot of orchids for £3, and obviously that's what we'd all like, a lot of orchids for not very much money. And they've grown, or some of them at least have grown very well. Now they haven't all. There's some here which has sort of got buried in the agar, because on the way home from Bournemouth unfortunately it got tipped over and the agar moved and it hasn't gone back. But there's a lot of orchids in there, so it should be interesting. There ought to be, I don't know, half a dozen definitely viable orchids and perhaps a few more that might make it if I'm careful. In terms of preparation, my tweezers have been sterilised, been washed, sprayed with some antibacterial cleaner and then put through a flame on the cooker. This tray has been sprayed with an antibacterial spray and given a really good rinse out. I've washed, this is one of my jugs that I use for watering, that's been washed out and it's got tepid water in, which I shall use either to get the muck off the agar off the roots, or if the agar has gone too sticky, I'll pour a bit in there and I'll have to leave it and let it soften the agar, and then we'll have another go. So it's only the second time I've done this. It was 16 months ago in January 2019 when I did the last lot, and that was some dendrobiums, what are they called? Hilda seedlings, and they have worked. They've been very, very slow, but they have actually kept going. I've managed to keep 3, and one of them is showing signs of turning into a mature plant. But anyway, let's have a look and just really see what, this really is a case of what's in the pot. Now this has not been opened since that day in March, at the end of March 2019, and it's now the 28th of June 2020. So we'll have a look and see what's down inside the pot. There we are. Some good roots down there, I think. So, first things first, let's see if I can get any of them out. I don't think they're going to come just like that. The agar looks as if it's quite sticky. Although if I'm lucky, the whole lot will come. Yeah, the whole lot is going to come. Well, it's going to come in 2 bits anyway. And I think we've got there everything that matters. So Let's zoom in with the camera. Excuse me what if it vibrates a bit. But that is a little cluster. I have to come in a bit on top. No, what's happening here? Going off the bottom of the thing. Let's try coming up a little bit closer with something on the palm of my hand so you've got an idea of how big these are. There's a lot of individual plants there. We've got some that have got some really nice roots, some that haven't. There's some stuff that looks a little bit like dead leaf, but I think on the whole that's not bad. So what I've got to do now, and this is going to be difficult to see without moving the camera, so if you'll bear with me, I'll try moving the camera so we can get closer to the jug. Right. Sorry, as you can imagine, I am not used to doing this, and this is a very different arrangement to how I normally have to work with the camera. So, I'm just going to put the stuff in there like that, and then swirl it around a bit and see what happens. Well, that's the first one to separate itself, and that's a nice little plant, that is, and that's nice and clean, all the agars off it pretty much, so that can go onto the sheet of paper. Just using kitchen towel to try and keep them, let them dry off again, because you don't want these to be sodden any more than you want anything else to be sodden. Now then, what has happened here? I don't know. That's one with a small root. Right. That's another decent size little plant. That'll want some little bit of looking at, but that's looking good. We've got some nice roots on that one as well. About the same size as its mate over there. Oh. Now then, just look at the roots on that little sweetheart. Really, I've got to be careful, because if I've got seedlings that look as good as this, then I've got a fair chance. Not quite so big, but good roots. That's always a great starting point. There's a number of small ones which, if I'd got the facilities, I might very well have put in another pot and given them another chance to grow on, but Now I can't disentangle that little lot. I don't know whether we've got a rhizome or whether it's just thoroughly tangled, but it doesn't want to and I don't want to start tearing roots to bits. See, that one is not as good. Might do all right, might not. Whereas that one is a smaller plant, but it's got 3 nice roots instead of 1 big one. And by the looks of it, that's going to be almost all the plants I think are going to get anywhere. I mean, we got them down to that, and I'm going to be very, very lucky to raise something as small as that one, I think, although I'll obviously have a go. Don't throw anything away. Another one that I wouldn't want to start yanking about to try and get it to disentangle. But tiny one there that might even have some new growths on it, so that's obviously one to try. Another quite a nice one. Don't think that one is going to do an awful lot, but we'll see. Little tiny one with a great big root. So. But then you've got those which you've got to wonder if it's worth even trying to transplant, because you're not going to get anywhere with those, they're just not big enough. And I'm going to end up with a lot of plants, whatever. You know, is it worth worrying about something that size? Probably not, they're going to struggle. That's got some nice roots on, but isn't very big. I think when it comes to these very small ones, about all I can do is lay them on some moss and just see if that does it, rather than use seedling compost. I'm not sure their roots would cope with that. So I think it's just really a matter of giving them as much of a chance as you can give them, and see how we go from there. I mean, there are a lot of plants. I haven't even started counting them yet. There are some, you know, like that really, much as it pains me, I can't do anything with. They're just not big enough. That's got some roots on it. If they've got roots, I'll give them a try. If they really haven't done an awful lot bar sprout, then I think, you know, it really isn't worth doing an awful lot of worrying. So, because at the end of the day I have got a lot of plants to try anyway. I'll show you in a sec just how many plants I have got. Now basically what's left in there's probably 7 or 8 plants in there that really won't survive. I think they have pretty much had it before we even start. They're just too small, they haven't developed. And when you look at the size of these other plants, and I'll put them out on here now and let you see these. You look at the size that some of them have reached and some of them haven't, then there's obviously quite a variation in the degree of vigour amongst these seedlings, which is really what you'd expect when it comes down to it. They are seedlings, they're going to have characteristics of, you know, their parentage. Some will be just like us, just like any other creature that's raised from seed, if you like. You are so I can't even untangle that thing. I'm not going to start yanking it, I'll just put that in together and we'll see what turns up. No, not bother with that. So, when you look at that lot, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, a clump there, call it 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 23, 25. You've got about 28, 29 pieces, which is a lot, and I'm absolutely certain they won't all survive. Now what I am going to do is just let them sit on that paper and dry out a little bit, and I'm going to come back to it after lunch, because it's now just gone 11:45, and I'll come back after lunch and then we'll start again.